Hey guys, it's Jessica and I am back with another craft fair idea video, and this time I am sharing these really cute Valentine's Day treat packaging. The idea behind these is that when I was at one of my craft fairs this past fall, I had a woman stop by and was talking to me about some of the stuff on my table and paper crafting in general, and she was telling me that she, around Christmas time, really loves to give out homemade candy and fudge, but she never has a way of packaging it really cute. She said, I am really fantastic in the kitchen, but I can't do anything cute like you do in terms of like paper crafts. So I got to thinking, like, I wonder if there's a lot of people out there who really do enjoy giving homemade stuff, but they just don't know how to package it. So I'm hoping that this will be something that people are interested in. So I do want to say that I have never taken these to a craft fair, so I don't know how well they will do. But if they don't do well, I can tell you that I will use these for my own stuff because I like to also bake. But these also fit an A2 size card, so they can also work as envelopes. So I did these in a Valentine's Day theme. The cool thing about these is that you can really kind of make them in a variety of different ways. So like, for example, on this one, all I did was round the corners of the top paper and then left a straight line on the bottom. On this one, I did rounded corners and a scallop border punch. On this one, I did rounded corners and then a different like doily border punch. On this one, I just snipped off the corners and did my scallop scissors. And then on this one, I did another border punch and rounded corners. So you can actually get 2 of these out of one 12 by 12 piece of paper. And then the strip that ends up coming off of it, and I'll show you that, we're going to use that too. So you really don't have any waste with this project, which is really nice. So I would suggest cutting several at once, and the reason being is because that strip of paper that will come off of it is what we're going to use to wrap around as a belly band and a decoration element. So if you only cut your 12 by 12, then your paper is going to be the same as your belly band. So if that doesn't bother you, then that's totally fine. But I like to do about 2 or 3 pages at once, just so I can have a variety of strips to add as a decorative element. So to make this, you are going to need your 12 by 12 paper. You're going to need some liquid adhesive or double-sided tape. You're going to need something to score with. I am using some jute twine that I have, and a corner rounder if you want to round the corners, or you could just snip them off with your scissors. And then I am using a heart punch, and you will need a clothespin. Okay, so this paper, you cut it at 5.5 by 12. So this one is already cut, and I will show you where we are going to score it at. And of course, I will put the dimensions in the description of the video. So you're going to actually score at 1/2 inch on either side on the short side of the paper. So on the 5.5 side, you score at 1/2 inch on each side. And then on the long side, you score at 6 1/4. Okay, so now that we have all of that scored, I like to go through and just fold on the fold lines. So now you notice that when you fold it up, you're going to have a short side of the paper and then the long side of the paper. So the long side of the paper is going to be the back of the packaging. The short side is going to be the front of the packaging, and this is where you would do a border punch or whatever you want. So the strips that we now have scored in, those need to be trimmed off this short side of the paper. So you can use scissors, but I have to use my paper trimmer because I cannot cut a straight line to save my life. So I would say do whatever you are able to, like if you can use scissors, that is awesome. I just can't. So now that I have gone up, I like to go a little bit past that middle score line, like barely past it, like maybe less than 1/8 of an inch. And then I cut an edge or a wedge into the paper. So it looks like this. And now we're going to do it on the other side. Oh, it actually tore my paper, dang it. That's okay. So we're also going to save these strips because these are what we can also use for our clothespins. So I really like that there's very, very, very little waste. Okay, so now that we have that trimmed off, if you fold it up, you can see how this is going to come together. I actually like to trim off these little edges or flaps up here. So I will just fold up this short side and then make a mark so I know exactly how high it goes, and then just trim that off. Okay, and so it'll look like this after I've trimmed off those top pieces. And all I'm going to do on this one is round the corners, both on the top page and on the bottom. Okay, and so that is what it will look like, and it's starting to come together really nice. Oh, I think I need to trim down a little bit more of this side. Okay, so now this is where the 1-inch scrap of paper that we trimmed off when we were making these, that is where this will come into play. So let's see, what do I have? Looks like I only have these two, and obviously this is the one I used to make it, so I won't use that one. Let me see what goes best. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this side. So I'm gonna glue my flaps here to this bottom part of the paper. And I like to, this is why I like to use liquid glue, is so then I have some wiggle room time if I need to move the paper, but I like to line up the edges here to make sure everything is nice and neat. And then I'll go back through and burnish just in case. So there we have that. And now this is where I am kind of lazy. So all I do is I kind of center it on my treat package here and just fold over the corners, or fold over the sides. And then glue it down. I try to make it tight enough that it won't move around too much, but not so tight that it can come off. Okay, so there we have that. And I will maybe, do I want to add some lace? So I'm just going to use my double-sided tape here. I'm just going to go right down the middle of our belly band here. Okay, get that pushed down. Then I'm just going to trim this lace off. And then I will add some twine. There we have that. Let's move this over a little bit. And actually, you know, in my book here, I think I might have some hearts that would work. So I've actually gotten a few questions about this, my little binder here. If you want a more in-depth video on this, let me know and I'm happy to do that. So these are, I think I talked about these before. They are from Lily of the Valley, and they have an Etsy account, and you can get them as a digital stamp or as a polymer stamp. So I'm thinking we will just punch a hole and add this. There we go. That's super cute. Okay, so now that we have the actual packaging done, all we need to do is decorate our clothespin. So like I said, when we cut off the strips on the lower half of the paper for this packaging, you are left with these, and these are almost the perfect size, but they do need to be trimmed down a little bit. So I have found I do about 3 inches long. Actually, I don't want to, let's do, actually I'll do this one. So they are 3 inches long by 3/8 of an inch wide. Okay, so all I do is just add some adhesive here, and this, again, you can use some double-sided tape. I just add my strip of paper there. And I'm sorry, you can probably hear my daughter who's talking to my dog. And then it's a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna trim that off. But I find it easier just to cut them down to 3, so I don't have to figure out the math. And then on the top of this is where the heart punch comes in. You can, like I said, you can do whatever you want on the top of it. You can leave it plain, whatever your heart desires. But I am going to go through my scraps here. So I have this scrap, and I really like cutting out these little florals. So I think that's what I'll do. So I gotta decide which would go better. Let's go with that. And then I just add a little bead of glue to my clothespin. And honestly, you can like punch these out several times to make this a little bit thicker. I did that on a few of them, but just for time purposes, I won't do it on this one. And then there you go. That is it. And I really like these. You can, like I said, you can make several in a really short period of time. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching.